AskReddit by your planted. What's the hardest lesson you've learned as an adult? Chronic illness can destroy everything you've ever worked for, and it can happen to anyone at any age. Got a chronic cancer, LGL. At 23 I've personally lost everything, the place I was staying, my career, my vehicle, all of it. Doing better now and not trying to focus on the negatives, but I felt this so much I had to comment. Please go to your normal doctor checkups, they save lives. One best friend is better than multiple acquaintances. Quantity does not equal quality. 4 quarters is better than 100 pennies. No matter how much you love someone, you can't just make them love you. Just as you can't make yourself love someone no matter how hard you may want to. And life is not fair. I'm going through the second one right now and it's the hardest thing I've ever experienced. Bad things happen to good people without reason or explanation. This is true on so many levels indeed. I've met several good people who, regardless of all the bad things that happened, still stayed good people. Sometimes you just have to walk away, let people go, and let relationships end. And those people can be family. You don't owe anybody shit. You have one life to live. In the big scheme of things it's relatively short, so spend it doing what makes you happy. That the person who hurt you can't make the hurt go away. People go back to their abusive partners and families over and over again hoping for resolution or closure. They can't give it to you. They won't make the pain go away. It's just going to be painful. The sooner you stop going back, the sooner the pain will heal. This one is so hard. I think we're trained to expect healing from the person who hurt us. In a healthy relationship, of any type, you're supposed to voice your feelings and work the problem out together. It can take a long time to really accept that someone you love will do nothing but hurt you. Friends that you always thought would remain close often drift apart over time, sometimes never to be heard from again. I've always thought of life like riding an elevator. In the moment, it feels like those people will always be there, but they will get off on a floor one by one. To not worry about death, because you can't stop that MF from coming. True, but that doesn't mean you should rush it by smoking, taking drugs, drinking, eating crap, etc. How forgettable and unimportant you are to people. I think the hardest part can be finding the people who won't treat you as forgettable and unimportant. There's a lot of people in my life that I no longer know that still have made a lasting impact, and I think about them regularly. I think we stick in the average person's head more than we think. It can just be difficult to make the effort to stay in touch. Time passes faster and faster with each year. If there's something you want to do in life, don't wait. If you do, you might find 5 years have passed without you doing anything. Oh man. This one just hit hard. One's input into a relationship doesn't necessarily mean equal output from your partner. Other people can and will make the worst decisions you've ever seen. Even when they have the capacity and resources to make good decisions, they will not. You cannot help them. They have to die on their own. Yep. We took in my soul to try to help her get back on her feet. She took her cheating husband back 3 weeks later, so of course he moved in. Despite not paying rent or utilities, our offer to them, they didn't save any money, let a car get repossessed, didn't enroll their kids into school until November, and who knows where their money went. Every chance they had to get out of a hole with our help, they just wasted it and constantly made bad decisions that hurt them financially, destroyed their credit, and was always a short-term solution. Nothing would have helped them. They were just stupid, selfish, and terrible. Most people don't care about you. I mean, you probably don't care about most people, so why expect the same in return? It's like that Picard quote where he says something like one can make no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. You can't stop someone else's suicide or anything else that's beyond your control. That you don't have to remain close with anyone just because you were close with them as a kid, or because they're your family, or because you've been close for a long time. People change, and also people do things that irrevocably change the relationship or even destroy it, regardless of whether you forgive them or not. For instance, just to give a single example, it took me a really long time, simply out of misguided loyalty, to finally ditch a childhood friend who became a terrible person over the years and caused me a lot of problems that could have been easily avoided if I'd recognized that I didn't owe him any loyalty and simply walked away from that friendship years earlier. I had been putting up with a complete asshole who had replaced the kid I had been friends with out of loyalty to that kid that no longer existed and hadn't existed for literal decades. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they could be gone. You never know how much they mean to you until they're gone. Debt is a trap and a mother effer to dig yourself out from under. Yeah, no, most underrated comment here. Debt fucking sucks. 3 months of baddish decisions and a credit card and you're in for 3 years of digging out. In early 2020 I bought a house I could actually afford, a new vehicle, which I could also afford, and got a single credit card, which was to help build credit further. Yeah, no, 3 months later after a job loss, COVID, I was over $285k in debt with a service processor knocking on my door went from $5k a month to $500 a month. Don't go into debt at all costs. Yes, you have to get loans at times, but don't go get the max loan you can just because you can. Life can change in an instant and what you can afford now you may not be able to tomorrow. Borrow only what you need and live very within your means, and for God's sakes build a savings account. More you save the better prepared you are for life shitting all over you. Most problems are ones you have to face alone. You learn there isn't going to always be someone there for you and to help you, and that yourself is really all you can count on. When searching for a job, it's not what you know, it's who you know is true more often than not. It's not always the close friend who will help you get your next job, but an acquaintance. Therefore having a big circle of acquaintances is helpful. It's not always going to go the way you pictured it, or the way they told you it would. After years of dating and searching for the right person for me, I found him. Awesome. Life goal achieved. Then he died of cancer. A couple of my friends are facing infertility challenges, meanwhile so many others are having babies with ease all around them. This isn't how it was supposed to go, and it's tough to accept that you don't get the life that so many have. Taking care of your financial health is so important. Years worth of smart decisions can be undone in a few months of negligence or mistakes and severely limit your ability to operate in the adult family world. As soon as you can afford to start putting money away, start to put money away. Before you move into a better apartment, start eating out more, buying nicer clothes, etc. You need to pay yourself first. Until you can regularly pay yourself, you can't afford to start upgrading other parts of your budget. People sometimes change for the worst. People generally don't care and you're by yourself against the world, no matter how much people say it's not the case. I agree with this. I can be negative, nobody cares, but as I get older I realize this is positive. We hold ourselves back because we don't think others will approve, when in reality others don't think about us much, if at all. Only our closest family and friends pay any attention to what we are doing. So go for it. Take a risk. Choose the career change. Don't worry about failing or looking stupid. If you are responsible and own the results, and are not hurting anyone including yourself, then you shouldn't worry. People don't care about me as much as I care about them. I used to bend over backwards for people, do anything for them. Give them my last dollar, my last meal, my last bit of fuel for a lift. I'd ring text them and make the effort. Buy them little presents if I saw something I thought they'd like. People don't reciprocate, I just get used. So I stopped and have become more selfish. I hear this. I recently explained to a group of friends that they do not reply to my messages and that I feel disregarded or treated with apathy, which is something I do not want for myself. I left it there and whatever happens I am cool with. I feel I have relieved myself of all duty to them. The most precious thing in the world is time with those you love. Life is not always fair. People that lie and cheat can often come out on top. But no matter how bad a situation may seem, you just have to keep battling on. The only answers at the bottom of a bottle are the wrong ones. In this world, many people will prey on your kindness and use it to take advantage of you. All you have is yourself, really. People aren't for you nor against you. They're for themselves.